guys, I want to quickly do a video for today's session about angles and the way that angles relate to each other. Right? This is the sort of stuff that may seem a little bit weird now when it comes to using it in trig and determining the angles inside of shapes. This stuff is very important. So I'm going to go through it. Hopefully you get it relatively quickly. It shouldn't be too long a video. Start things off. I want you to have a shot at these warm-up questions. So pause the video, give yourself 4 minutes, try and work through these questions and see how you go. Okay, so assuming that you pause the video, this is what you should have had. So a reflex angle, anything that's over 180 degrees, but less than 360 is considered to be reflex. Next one, I'm not sure if anybody was going to get it, but fun to put in there anyway. The general equation for a linear line is y equals mx plus c, where the m refers to the gradient and the c refers to the y-intercept. Solve 17 minus 13 times 2 plus 3. If you do BODMAS, that's 17 minus 26 plus 3, which is negative 9 plus 3, which is negative 6. Put these into ascending order, right? Your best bet if you want to do a question like this is to put them all into the same measurement length, because we've got centimeters, meters, and millimeters, right? So if you were to put them all in, say, centimeters, you would have 210, 245, and 250. 0.2 times 0.7, which is 0.14. 15 equals 6x over 2. Figure out what the x is. Well, you have times the 15 by the 2, which will give you 30. 6x equals 30. If I divide both sides by 6, that should give me 5. So hopefully you got those. Give yourself a pat on the back if you did. Alright. So, very exciting slide right now. A straight line. The angle of a straight line we have covered. You can measure it with a protractor if you want to, but it should be perfectly straight. Now, you can have a guess if you're not too sure. Have a guess what the x value is equal to for the angle of a straight line. Hopefully you guessed 180, right? So in any straight line, the angle of that line is 180 degrees. It's going perfectly straight. Right? Now, I've put a line across it, which is also a straight line, coincidentally, and I tell you that this is a 60-degree angle. What is the value of the other side? Right? How could I even figure that out? Well, if the whole thing is 180, I can do 180 minus 60 will give me the value of x, which is 120. Right? And this is, I guess, a concept that we're going to be looking at a bit this lesson. Okay. Now, this value here, right? So I have 120 again, and I've got this little value here. And how can I figure that out? Have to think about it for a second. Okay. I hope you're shouting it at your screen. This is also a straight line, as I said before. Meaning this angle from here all the way around to here is 180 degrees. So our x has to be 60. Right? So these two angles here, these opposite angles, if you will, they appear to be the exact same. So based off that information, we can assume that this y is also the same. Right? Again, if you figured out the underside, if this x here was 60, this y would have to be 120 because this is a straight line. So, something that exists when you're dealing with parallel lines, right? And where a line is going through parallel lines, I should say. Two angles that are opposite of each other are the same, which is interesting. Well, what about in this situation here? So now I've got two parallel lines. I've got 120 here. I got to think about how am I going to figure out what this x is. Good question. Well, these angles here are called interior angles. And if these two lines are parallel, these two angles will always add together to make 180, meaning that x will have to equal 60, right? Which kind of leads on to my next point. If one of these angles is equal to 60, it means that this angle is equal to 120. You know that 120 plus whatever this angle is has to equal 180, so this has to be 60 also. The alternate angles, where there's a line going through the middle, they're always equal as well. It's interesting. Now, in this situation here, I hope you're going to be able to tell me what it is beforehand. If I know that this angle in here is 60, it means I know that this angle above it, right, because keep in mind this is a straight line going through. If this is 60 here, that means that this has to be what? Well, it has to be 120, doesn't it? So we got something here called corresponding angles, which is basically an angle matching the angle on the other parallel line, right? So let's call this line the dividing line, and these are the parallel lines. The angle that the dividing line makes with the parallel line will be the same as the parallel line, the other parallel line making with the dividing line also. All right. Now I'm going to put these up onto. I'll put them on the document so you can have a look. These are a couple of people explaining these ideas in a little bit more detail if you're not too sure. All right. But let's have a go at this. I want you to think about what the value of x could be. Pause the video and see if you can figure it out. Well, I hope you paused it. And you should figure out that the answer to that is, well, it's 180 minus 146, which is 34. Very nice. I have another version of this somewhere. One, two. Right. I want you to have a shot at this one. The value of h is equal to 25 degrees. I want you to tell me what the values of the other angles are. All right. And I want you to put it on OneNote and tell me A equals this, B equals this, C equals this, and then that way that I know that you've watched this video. All right. Give it a shot. H is equal to 25. Have a think about what that could inform you about the rest of this stuff. And then you'll have a worksheet to do. All right. That's basically it. I hope that you're doing well. Please contact me if you need any help. Thanks, guys.